And Chuck and Joe, you also brought a guest?
This is Maya. She's the communications director on our campaign.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And John Stark, you have also brought a guest.
I did. It gives me pleasure to introduce Lori Ball. Lori Ball is a retired New Hampshire public school teacher, a special education advocate, and is currently running for state rep here in Salem's new District 25, formerly known as District 8 for Rockingham. So welcome.
No chance. And so he says, I'm going to put it in Atkinson. And I'm like, why? Right? And then he says, oh, he calls me up and says, it's going to be on Kip Cam Road. It's like, oh my God, you're dead. Well, so who knew he would end up turning Kip Cam Road in Atkinson into the gigantic operation, what, 5 acres of stuff over there? 13. And so Chuck and I became friends over the years, and I designed the Freshwater Farms logo, in fact. And he grew and grew, and then hi Gary, welcome. At some point, late 80s, early 90s, we started working with Chuck for him to provide us with Christmas trees for our incredible tree sale that we have done for 50 years at least, that we know about. And with Chuck's help over those years, we've raised well over $500,000 thanks to his help. And a couple of stories. 3 years ago, 2019, when Daisy Cleaners was still there, we got about 4 inches of snow right before the tree sale. And so then I called Paul Garabedian, and Groundhog Landscaping comes down with a payloader at 1:30 in the morning, and I meet him over there, and they're scraping off the snow, and it was just a bog. It was water, and it was mud, and it was brutally awful. And it turned out, that was the year we had all the rain, and Daisy Cleaners had been pumping 2 sump pumps into the Christmas tree lot. So who knew that was underneath all that snow? And out of the blue, without calling him, I get a call from Chuck. He says, you guys are in trouble. I'm going to be down. And he brought down a payloader of crushed snow, and he got it all working so we could get into our lot and make it happen. And that's one of the things Chuck has done for us over the years. One year we had a whole display of decorated wreaths. And we come in one morning and they're all gone. So Doug being Doug, the first thing I do is not call the police, I call the Eagle Tribune, and I say, have I got a story for you? So the Tribune comes up, they put a nice article in the paper about us losing our wreaths, and who's there next day? Freshwater Farms with Chuck replaced all of our wreaths for us. And that, thank you, a million times for all the.
Oh, right.
And then last year, we ran into a couple of roadblocks at Tuscan, and a text or two, and half an hour later, we had carte blanche, and it was unbelievable. So, and we had our best sale ever over there. So, Chuck, for all the times that you've helped us out and made things happen for us, you're awesome. You're awesome in the community, and I still go get Kip Cam Road in Atkinson. Beside the point, it seems to have worked out for you. So that's it. If you come up here, we have a couple of things we'd like to show you. This. First, we have, this is kind of ironic. We have a nice gift for you, and I'm going to read it because unfortunately you can barely read the engraving, but we have this nice little pewter, here it is, I know it's here, there it is, little gift. And then it occurred to me on the way over here today, how ironic that we would give a gift to a guy who owns a gift shop. We but it does say, and I'm sure someday you'll be able to read it, to Chuck Morse from the Exchange Club of Salem, with gratitude for your decades of support of our annual Christmas tree fundraiser. So that's from the club. That's something we just like to have you have on your shelf.
Thank you.
And we also have,
You guys didn't spend money, did you?
no, I know, you mean the money for the poor children? Nice little, show that.
Excellent.
Certificate for you that says, 2022 Salem Exchange Club President's Award for a very special thank you to Chuck Morse for over 35 years of friendship and support of our Christmas tree fundraiser. So I'd like to give that to you. Chuck, this is a donation to you for what I hope is currently your favorite charity, because that was what I was told. So it's a $1,000 check to the Salem Boys and Girls Club. Away the employees. You've done this before, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I didn't know why the hell I was invited here. 2 minutes, if I can keep it to that, about what I believe in, because you're all believers. So, I was 16 when I first went on the executive board at St. David's Church. It was because my mom, pushed me in everything I did. But I was 27 when I started Freshwater Farms, and I was working for Wyndham Nurseries. I was actually made the vice president of that company back then at 23 years old. Joe had sold it, and he no longer had Wyndham, and an accountant had bought it. I tell this story all the time. They had a report that said fire me. I ended up getting offered the vice presidency of a pretty good sized nursery at the time, and when I stepped out of there to open Freshwater, yeah, it was crazy. Rocky County Trust was probably the craziest because they gave me a $250,000 loan. But the one thing along the way is, even when we first started with Freshwater Farms, Christmas trees was our life. We certainly started the year before we even opened Freshwater. Doug helping us design the logo and everything, it was just kind of natural when we started the relationship with Christmas trees. Trust me, Freshwater makes peanuts off of what we sell you Christmas trees at. We're constantly sending people down to help you unload and everything because we're trying to help you. And rotating trees or giving you more or doing whatever we can to make money with you is what it's all about. I mean, the Boys and Girls Club, I started right around the same time. I was asked by Bill Cochran, like all of you, to get involved in Salem and get involved on the Boys and Girls Club board. I got involved, and my wife's on a golf course a couple of years later, and the women in Salem said Chuck needs to run the auction. From there, things changed, and we created that auction into something that's unbelievable today. And it's continued, right through the capital campaign that I got involved with over there. I really have cared about it, but it's my whole life. I mean, you talked me into getting into politics in Salem. I did it. I have been the longest serving Senate president, by the way, in the state's history. And I just want to give you all one thing, because it is important to me. I do that Senate presidency for $125 a year. That's what I get paid for doing that. And I helped create just about every single budget that I've been, in the years I've been up there. That alone is probably worth $500,000 in talking to some of these executives. It's a $13 billion budget, but I do it because I love it. And that's why you do it, and that's what works for the Salem community. Keep it up. I got a 27-year-old daughter. I truly believe she's going to head in the same direction as her dad. Won't be in Salem because she's in Atkinson, but her and John, they get married next year, and they get it. They understand from both families what it's like to give back, and we need to keep preaching this, because it's so important to pull up the next people like you in this community and keep it all going. And, you know, standing out selling Christmas trees is kind of tough work, you know? I mean, I've been through a few of those days when we've unloaded those trucks in the pouring rain. Hasn't been so much fun, but we get it done. And it's helped all of you and helped us. And, you know, I think it's created a relationship that if I say at Freshwater Farms, the Exchange Club needs something, trust me, they just jump in the vehicle and get it done, because they really care about you. And they care about you for the right reason, because you do things like this Boys and Girls Club check, which I can just tell you this, I more than matched you for that fundraiser they just put in, because I still believe in the club. So I did it because I believe in it, and we'll make sure we find a way to help you back this check too. So thanks for everything you're doing. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Chuck.